Welcome to another edition of Eric's Product Reviews brought to you by hollywoodfrodo.com. I am Eric, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about one of the most fun games I have discovered in a long time. That's the game Exploding Kittens. It is the simplest game to learn, only takes about 5 or 10 minutes to learn, but lots and lots of fun to play. If you never heard of it, it's, I believe, the highest funded Kickstarter game ever in the history of Kickstarter. That's how it started out, as a Kickstarter campaign, and it was very, very well funded, and now it is available on Amazon, and it is a blast. Exploding Kittens. Now, what's the object of the game? It's a very simple game. It is a card game. You basically have cards in your hand, but the goal of the game is very simple. It's not to die. Whereas a lot of games you're trying to go out of cards, that's not what you're trying to do in this game. In this game, you're just trying not to die. And how do you die? Well, every time it's your turn, at the end of your turn, you draw a card from the deck. And if you draw an exploding kitten, then you die. And once you die, you're out. And the people who are still in continue to play until only one person's left standing. That person is the winner. But the gameplay goes really, really fast. Now, what happens, is there any way to not die with an exploding kitten? Well, yes, there is a diffuse card. If you have a diffuse card, you can diffuse the exploding kitten bomb, and so doing, you stay alive, you live to see another day. But you have to play the card when you diffuse the kitten, so you don't have it any longer. Now, everybody starts out with one diffuse card, so you have one chance to survive an exploding kitten. However, people can take cards from you. For example, there are cards, a lot of cards have actions on them, but there are some cards that are kind of funny, like this one, which is the Beard Cat card. If you have two of a kind, or a pair, I should say, you can play a pair, and then you can ask someone, anyone at the table, till you tell them you want to take a card from them, and they have to hold their cards up, and you get to steal one from them, which means you could potentially steal their diffuse card. You also could possibly draw other diffuse cards that are still left in the deck, and that might help you out as well. But there's not a ton of them, so it's not something you're going to have a ton of. Now, the strategy part of the game, because it's just luck of the draw as far as when you get an exploding kitten, they're in the deck. But what strategy is, the other cards allow you to do things, and these are the cards that allow you to do things. Things like see the future. That means if you think there's an exploding kitten coming up, you can peek at the next 4 cards and know for sure, which may then make you do something like use the attack, which means you get to skip your turn. You pass your turn to the next player. So instead of you drawing at the top card, the next player has to take your turn and draw a top card, and then also take their own turn and draw the next card. There's a skip card, so you can use this to just skip your turn, and it just goes to the next person. There's a favorite card. That's a card that not as big of a way to get out of trouble, but this card lets you designate any one player, and that player has to give you one card from their hand. Of course, if they only had one card and you had a suspicion it was the diffuse card, they'd have to give you that. There's the nope card. The nope card basically nopes or undoes any card that's been played. So if someone plays an attack, you want to change that attack, you can play a nope card. You can't nope an exploding kitten, because that's not a card that's been played, that's a card that's just been drawn. But any card that someone plays, a skip or an attack, you can nope it, and that just undoes it. And there's also a shuffle, so if you thought that maybe there's an exploding kitten at the top of that deck, you could shuffle the deck to try to get it away from you. Now, what makes this fun is if you draw an exploding kitten and you have a diffuse card and you diffuse it, guess what? That exploding kitten goes back in the deck. Every exploding kitten that starts off in the deck stays in the deck for the entire play. So when someone diffuses it, they take the deck, they put it either under the table or behind their back, and they put that card back in. They could put it on the top so the player next to them would draw it. They could put it 2 under so the 2 players over, strategic. They can put it wherever they want to. Or they could fool everybody and put it in the middle of the deck. Nobody knows. Of course, anytime someone does that, everyone starts getting really nervous because they think most likely that person's trying to get somebody out and put it somewhere on the top. So then people start using their attack or their shuffle or their skip, but for all they know, that person might have put it 3 or 4 down. Of course, it can come back to bite them in the butt a lot of times, because they put it 3 and there's 4 people playing, and one of those people uses a skip and it comes back to them. So there's some strategy there. Also, when you die, when you choose an exploding kitten, you don't have a diffuse card, so you're out. You still get to put that exploding kitten back into the deck. Because of that, as the deck gets smaller and smaller, the chances of someone drawing exploding kittens start getting higher and higher, and everyone is, you're trying to make sure someone else gets that exploding kitten. You're trying to make sure they die first and you last and stay to the end. So it starts to become a lot of fun and funny as it gets towards the end and everyone's basically trying to stab each other in the back. So that's the general gameplay. It is a lot of fun. It is a blast. Now the one I have is the original version. There is another version called the NSFW version, means not safe for work, or aka the adult version. The gameplay is exactly the same. Nothing changes. The game is the way the game is played is the same with both. The only difference is the cards kind of have little funny things on it, like the See the Future card says on there, rub the belly of a pigacorn. So this is the original or safe version, you could say, the rated E for everyone version, and it just has little funny things like that. The not safe for work version, the adult version, has slightly more risque comments and things. So which one you get just depends on how you're going to use it. If you get the not safe for work version, it'll probably be funny the first couple of times you play it, but then after that, it kind of loses because you've seen all the cards a million times. It's not so funny anymore. I wanted to get the original version because I wanted to be able to play it with anybody, and because it's such an easy game to play, it is a game you can play with anybody. I mean, it's rated for ages 7 and up, and you really could. You could sit as a family and play it with your kids. My in-laws were in town recently, and we sat and played for hours with my in-laws. And so I got the original version so that I'd be able to play it with anybody without having to worry about offending anybody, or if someone was younger or whatever. This is safe for everything. So you can choose for yourself whether you want the original version or you want the more adult, not safe for work version, but the gameplay is exactly the same regardless, and it is a really fun game. It's really a blast. One of my favorite games I've played in a long time, especially because it's so simple and so easy to pick up. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I learned to play Uno for the first time. It's a lot sort of like that in terms of an easy, simple card game, but a lot of fun, and never the same game twice. So again, it's Exploding Kittens. You can pick it up on Amazon. I'll have a link in the description below. You can click that link and jump over to Amazon, check it out for yourself. It's very highly reviewed, as you will see, and I would highly recommend you pick up the game. You will not regret it. Anyway, that's it for this review. If you like this review, please click that like button. If you know anyone who might be interested in this, please share this with them. You can do that on Google, Facebook, email, Twitter. All those ways are down there. This game makes a great gift also, by the way. One of those gifts that you could give this to anybody, and I guarantee you 6 months from the time you give it to them, they'll come back to you and be like, that was one of the best gifts ever. So also makes a great gift. Check out my channel. I have all kinds of reviews. I've got a few other games that I've reviewed. Also a lot of electronics and gadgets and household appliances, even some dog products. If you have an Android phone, check out my Android app review list. Lots of cool apps to make your Android phone better. And that's about it until next time. So have a great day.